Welcome to the weekly Management Matters show with Paragon Intel. I'm CEO Ty Popplewell. I'm joined by our president, Colby Howard. A little bit of a light week, Colby. A lot of earnings. People were distracted doing other things. We did publish some interesting research, starting off with Accenture CEO Julie Sweet. Our report and interview work on her is out. Her legal background's a little unique, non-traditional, at least as far as a promote in the last couple of years. We interviewed people who had worked with her for 88 years, generally positive, but worth a read. All the content there is on Management Track. Next, we released our report on Enphase's CEO, Badri Kothandaraman. We investigate some short seller allegations around aggressive accounting. Do those allegations hold up? I'm not going to tell you the answer, but all of our contacts had a very strong view, one direction on whether or not those allegations are accurate or not. And then lastly, Bed Bath & Beyond reported this week. The report was consistent with Director of Research Bill Campbell and I's call from 2 weeks ago. Stock was up over 40% on the back of that report. And we think we helped some clients make some money there. Colby, what about appearances? What do we see this week?
Yeah, that was a hell of a call. Well, first on Entergy, really interesting call or podcast. Leo Denault, the CEO of Entergy, went on Grid Talk, which is a podcast focused on the electric grid in the US. And he talked about how they're thinking about CapEx for the next couple of years. They've already spent $10 billion on upgrading the poles, the physical poles that keep power lines up. How do they think about expanding that to make sure that our lights stay on as winds, hurricane winds, tornado winds, climate change, all of this gets more and more violent? Who should share that cost? Is that purely Entergy's cost? Really interesting conversation. And then you had John Foley of Peleton, really interestingly timed interview with Reid Hoffman on Masters of Scale, probably to mitigate a terrible quarter that they just had, down 30%, as orders plunged during the general gym reopenings. On the podcast, he says he doesn't see skepticism about Peleton as a sign of weakness. Oddly enough, it does seem like he shares the market skepticism. If you look on our Management Track platform, he sold 100,000 shares a month like clockwork, taking $100 million off the table in the last year. Will he continue that? We shall see. And then you have Kofi Bruce, CFO at General Mills, making a rare appearance on a podcast, an hour-long conversation with scholars of finance. He talks about how he manages through a lot of the social changes going on right now, and how as an executive, you're never really speaking for just yourself. You're always speaking for your company, how everyone's watching like never before. He's finance focused, so this is a little bit of a different take and a way to get to know a CFO like you never normally do. And then finally, a short little video on the new COO of Zoom with Fortune India, which I don't think anyone watched. So here's an opportunity to get to know her. She says she never actually Zooms with anyone after 7 p.m. So there's your COO of Zoom. That is it. Again, as Ty said, a very light week for Management Track. Tune in next week to see what happened as earnings wind down.